We're talking the Bianca versus the new LELIT MX3. The Bianca has been one of the most coveted machines on the espresso market as of late. It has all the features that the coffee nerds want, from pre-infusion to low flow start and finish, and most importantly, the flow control paddle. But new this year is the MX3, an update of the previous V2 of the Mara X. The Mara X3 adds Pagaia. Pagaia is just Italian for paddle. What that does is change the voltage to the pump, and in doing so, it changes the speed of the pump to give you access to pressure and flow profiling at a much more competitive price point. Visually, these machines are similar, but the MX3 has some updates that the Bianca does not. You'll notice updated wood accents, which I prefer over the maple accents on the Bianca. They emphasized a more cohesive design language through the LELIT gem shape. You'll see that shape repeating on the end cap of the portafilter handle, the hot water and steam knobs, as well as the top of the tamper for this machine. When you get to this level of LELIT, all of the accessories are awesome. They keep the 58.55mm tamper and options for precision baskets right out of the box. Internally, these machines are pretty different. The Bianca has a commercial style rotary pump. This means you could plumb it in, and this pump is a lot more robust. You can't change the speed of this pump, so to achieve the pressure profiling or flow profiling, you have the flow control paddle on the top of the group. This style of paddle is easy to change back and forth, but it's hard to see real-time feedback about what the paddle's doing and how it's impacting your brew. It definitely takes some practice to get the best results out of this style of adjustment. The Bianca does have a leg up in its dual boiler format. If you're an espresso nerd, but you still like milk-based drinks, the ability to adjust those boilers independently is awesome. Compared to the Mara X, if you want to prioritize steam production, you sacrifice some brew temperature stability. And if you want the best brew temperature stability, you sacrifice some steaming performance. LELIT has done a fantastic job of programming the different modes for the Mara X to really maximize the heat exchanger platform, but it's still something to consider. The vibratory pump on the Mara X is nice and quiet compared to other machines from other brands, but the average lifespan of a vibratory pump is still about 7 years, whereas a rotary should last much longer than that. LELIT has done a lot of testing on the impacts of the voltage modulation from the Pagaia to see how that impacts the longevity of the pump, and they say that that impact is pretty minimal. I'm a big fan of the low flow start and end that the Bianca offers. The programming is a little bit clunky because you can't adjust it in real time, but it does help to automate some of that process so you're not having to play with the paddle every time you pull a shot. The Mara X doesn't offer any of this kind of automation when it comes to the control of pump pressure and speed. Let's dig into the specific ways that these unique flow control styles operate. The Bianca has a rotary pump, and the flow control paddle up here is just restricting the flow that the pump is producing. So it's not pressure profiling so much as it is flow profiling. Those things are interconnected and you can't really adjust one without the other, but the pump is always running at full speed and full pressure. If you think about it sort of like a balloon, if you blow a little bit of air into a balloon, the speed of the air is always gonna stay constant, but it's gonna take a little while before that balloon gets pressurized and gets up to full pressure. You could equip the Mara X2 with the same style of flow control paddle, but on a vibratory pump, the machine is a little compromised because when you do a longer low flow pre-infusion, the machine has to send some of that water either back into the reservoir or back into the drip tray. This means that the machine is cycling through more water, and in my experience, it can lead to drops in brew temperatures. This is why I'm generally not as much of a fan of flow control devices on heat exchanger machines. With the Mara X3, they changed all that up. They used Breville's proprietary tech to be able to change the voltage to the pump through the Pagaia controller. If you lower the paddle all the way to its lowest setting, it's reducing the voltage that's going to the pump. Therefore, it is lowering the speed of the pump. It's lowering the pressure and flow from that pump. And then if you spin it all the way up, the pump's running at full speed and is giving you a full 9-bar shot. This also means that the pump is only moving water that's getting to your coffee. And so this machine is a little bit more temperature stable than a Mara X2 with a flow control kit on it. Understanding the difference between flow profiling and pressure profiling and how these two different styles of systems operate can be a lot to wrap your head around and can be overwhelming. If you have a different or better way of explaining that, drop it in the comments, because you never know, it could help somebody else who is trying to gain understanding of this topic. Now, which one of these machines should you buy? That's a tough question. They're at different price points and they have different features. I've been able to pull great shots on both of them, but I think that if you are looking for the best temperature stability and the closest to cafe level repeatable shots, the Bianca is probably the better option just because of the dual boiler format. But I find myself preferring the flow profiling style of the Pagaia. I think it's a little bit easier to modulate and it's not as delicate as the flow control system on the Bianca. Why is this important to you? Well, it's not just for the coffee nerds like me. The systems on both of these machines can help you with coffee waste and saving a shot. So say your grinder is not quite dialed in yet and you're running out the door. Instead of just having to suffer through a mediocre coffee, you could use the devices on these to hit a solid brew time and brew weight that tastes great. Maybe it's not the best shot you've ever had, but you don't have to redial or just accept that you have to drink a subpar cup of coffee that day. Well, based on all that, I want to hear from you. Which one are you picking? Are you going to go with the MX3, take the savings, put them towards a grinder, maybe some accessories? Or are you going to go all in on the Bianca, which has been around for a little bit longer? I want to hear. We also have individual reviews of both of these, so check the description for those links. Let's talk LELIT Bianca versus MX3. You said to put some attention.